On this question of personal branding, we speak a lot about personal branding, and people wonder about what it takes to build a personal brand. And one of the most amazing things that I want everyone to realize here, and you're going to be so excited when you hear this, well, I hope you'll be excited when you hear this, is that you already have a personal brand. You are already a personal brand. Now, whether that personal brand opens next level doors for you, or it shuts next level doors for you, or it keeps you at the same place, is an entirely different question. So, this is what we're going to address today: what a personal brand is, how you can build it, and how you can leverage your personal brand, how you can build a powerful personal brand that you can leverage to open next level opportunities for yourself and others. So, first thing you've already learned is that you have already built a personal brand. The second thing is that that personal brand at the moment can either open next level opportunities, or it will shut next level opportunities, or it'll keep you where you are. So, personal branding, we put so much mysticism around it. We make it sound so complicated. We wonder what it takes. Do I need to hire a PR agent? What would it take for me to build a personal brand? You already are a personal brand, because personal branding is what people think about you, it's how they feel about you, it's what they associate you with, and whether or not they want to associate you with themselves. Right? So, personal branding is really the image or impression you have made in people's minds. So, to date, you have made a specific image or impression of yourself in people's minds. Jeff Bezos says that your personal brand is what people say about you when you leave the room. When you leave the room, how do people think, feel, associate, and want? Either they are attracted to or they're repelled from connecting with you. Depending on what your goals are, depending what your vision are, depending what your objectives are, you might want to tweak your personal brand, something you already have, so that it can be a vehicle through which you can achieve your aims. I think I need to go back to that a little bit. Why do we build a personal brand? Why do we need to get intentional about our personal brands? Because I said everybody already has a personal brand. So you, if you want to get somewhere, let's say you want to get somewhere specifically, and you sense there is something about how you are that is limiting how you're being received, you're going to go back and check your vehicle in which you were using to get there. You're going to check your personal brand, because if Jeff Bezos says that your personal brand is what people say about you when you leave the room, then are people saying this is definitely the woman for the job, let's get her in? Are people saying, oh my goodness, I'm so glad she left the room, was taking out all the air? Are people saying that guy is going places, let's keep our eyes on him, let's make sure that when we're thinking about succession, he is definitely one of the top 3 candidates? Or are people saying, has nobody given him feedback on how that thing he says or that thing he does or how he dresses or how he holds himself actually works against him? So if your personal brand is how people feel, how people think, and what people associate you with, the positive is, if you have built a powerful personal brand, if you have built a personal brand that actually serves you, that opens next level doors for you, then you can rest assured that it will get you where you want to go. But if thus far you have built a personal brand unknowingly that actually sabotages your vision, your dreams, your goals, your efforts, it sabotages your journey to where you want to go, there's actually also good news in that. There's a silver lining in that you can change your personal brand. You can change the image or impression people have of you in their minds. And by so doing, make sure that you're making a way for your next level access. Now, some people say, Modesta, how do I change how people think about me? People think what they think. I cannot control people's thoughts. I'd like to say you actually can. You can control what people think, how they feel, and and what they associate you with. Specifically, personal branding can be your intentional, ongoing effort to create the image of yourself as a trusted solution provider to your ideal audience or your ideal customer. You are not made for everyone. You are not every people say everyone's cup of tea. You're not going to bring solutions. You're not going to add value. You're not going to be deemed valuable by everyone. But there is a very specific, and I'm going to talk about niching down to a very specific segment. This is now your ideal audience, your ideal customer that has a very specific need that you can solve. And therefore, to them, they think there is no one else that they would rather go to than come to you. You can so build the image of yourself as a trusted solution provider to them specifically that whenever they think about getting that terrible problem that they've had for a long time solved, they immediately think about your name. What does that look like? Isn't that faking it? Isn't that positioning yourself? Isn't that being inauthentic? I mean, people think what they think. Who am I to meddle with what they think? And how do I even change myself to create that image in other people's minds? Do I want to change myself? You do not have to be inauthentic when you're building your powerful personal brand. What we do when we're building our personal brands is to say, I want to get ahead of what people think. I want to get ahead of how I present myself. I want to get ahead of the results that I drive. I want to get ahead of the report that comes out about me. I want to get ahead and feed those people in the room that will be talking about me, whether they're talking about my compensation, whether they're talking about my promotion, whether they're talking about my candidacy, whether they're talking about whether or not I would be the person to represent them in the C suite, for instance. I want to give them what to say about me. I want to give them what to think about me. I want to give them the things, the topics, the areas which they associate me with. And what you do, as the definition says, you're going to ongoing, intentionally, so profile and position yourself that when people think of the problem, immediately they're going to think of you. It's like if people think of a cola drink, most people will say Coke. A few others will say Pepsi. They will probably just oscillate between those two brands. When people think about phones, most will go immediately, or let's say high-end phones, they will say Apple, no doubt. And some people will be like, well, Samsung. And they probably will not go far between those. I don't even think Google or LG are going to come close. Forget about all the other brands, right? Because they're associating that very specific need with that brand. And that is how you can also distinguish yourself. You can so narrow down, so niche the area in which you want to be known for, and ongoing create the messages and connect in the platforms and engage with the people in this sphere that at some future point, even if you're not there, even when you're not in the room, you're somewhere completely different of their own volition. What would have come into their mind and what would stick to their mind is that you are the person that should be called on to solve that specific problem that they have. So now I want to go through some coaching questions and I want you to think through this. Zig Ziglar said, if people like you, they will listen to you. But if they trust you, they will do business with you. And we want to get to a place where people want to do business with us, whether you literally want to do business or you're in the business of selling yourself in your career. And I want to ask you this, because people will only do business, they will only engage, they will only associate with those they trust. They will only recruit, they will only partner with, they will only promote, they will only recommend and propose those that they trust. The question now is, do this very specific niche, does this ideal customer, this ideal audience, find you to be trustworthy such that they would want to connect with you or recommend you or defer to you in leadership? Trust is made up of two factors: credibility, this is your character and your competence, and relatability, this is your connection with other people. For people to trust you, and we're talking about personal branding here, building a powerful personal brand, people must first trust you. And so you want to check now, I wonder, do I seem trustworthy enough that people would want to defer to me as their trusted solution provider? Do they think that if they bring their problem to me, their business to me, their whatever challenge it is that you solve, either personally or through your business, whatever personal brand you're building, whatever image or impression you want to have you so built it to be credible enough and relatable enough that they would want to choose you above all others? So the first thing is, if trust, right? If I want to so position myself that those whom I am positioning with or positioning to would see me as their trusted solution provider. And trust is made up of credibility, that is your character and your competence, and relatability, that is your connection with others. I want you to ask yourself, think about the ideal customer, the ideal audience. And I don't want it to go too far and go too crazy. If you are a director and you would like to get in the C-suite, you're going to ask yourself, who is my audience? Your audience is probably the C-suite and the board. Does the board, does the C-suite, does the CEO think that I have the credibility and the relatability to get into the position that I'm aspiring for? If you are a business owner and you would like the market to defer to your, to buy your products more than others, to get more of the market share, you're going to ask yourself, do I, as the face of the business, seem to have the credibility and relatability that the market will trust me with whatever product or whatever service that you're selling? So I'm going to ask you a question this way. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least, very low, the lowest, 10 being the greatest, like you are the one, we cannot think of anybody else, it's got to be you. How would you rate your trustworthiness to your specific audience, to that ideal customer, to that ideal audience? How would you rate your trustworthiness? And then let's get down to little details. How would you rate on a scale of 1 to 10 your credibility? That is your character and your competence. I actually would like you to separate character and competence. On a scale of 1 to 10, in terms of character, having integrity, great work ethic, standing for excellence, being professional, being a person of my word, being a person who is interested in driving the business and not just personal gain. In terms of character, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much would people find me to be a person of character? How much would they trust me? Am I on a 1? Am I on a 10? Am I a 4? And so I need to improve it. Am I a 7? What can I improve? Am I a 9? What is missing? That's important for you to ask yourself. And then whatever number you give yourself between 1 and 10, it is important for you to ask yourself, okay, why am I rating myself this low? Maybe whatever answer you get, maybe I need to work on that. Maybe that is why I am not spoken of favorably behind closed doors. Maybe that is why people are not opening doors for my next level. It could be an issue of character. You can also do the same exercise for competence on a scale of 1 to 10. How competent, right? Knowledge, skills, attitude, experience does my ideal customer, my ideal audience think that I am? Now, you're putting yourself in their shoes, of course. You may not know for sure, but sometimes we pretend we don't know more than we do. You can get a feeling of what people think about you, you can get a feeling of where they place you. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do people place me in terms of my competence, my knowledge, my skills, my attitude, my experience? Where do they place me? And whatever number you attribute to your competence, you're going to see room for improvement. You can ask yourself, why did I give myself a 5? Why aren't I giving myself 10s for all of these? What is the reason why I think my ideal customer? I made that example of a director that wants to get into the C suite. They want to be a chief executive and they would like to know what the C suite and maybe the board think of them. So you're going to ask yourself, what specifically seems to be missing? Do I think is missing with me that they would not see me as their trusted solution provider for this role that I aspire for? Or what is it about me as a business person? Am I rating a 5? What about my competence makes me rate myself as a 5? What is missing that I would have to build if my audience, if my niche customer, if my niche segment that I've positioned myself in would trust me with their business? And then the second half of that is of the credibility is that relatability, your connection with others. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your connection with others? Is it a 1, like, oh, Modesta, like I can't even do human beings. I cannot at all. I cannot, I don't fit in, I stick out, I'm awkward, or quite frankly, I don't even like people. Let me just tell you the truth. I don't even like human beings. So I just want to do my job and move on. Okay, there, you found the issue. And here you are, maybe aspiring for greater influence. You're aspiring for greater positions of connection, yet you already know I rate a 1 on connecting with other people. I have no empathy. I am not sensitive to other people's needs. I really just wish people would just do what I want them to do and we get on with it. This is sending a message. You're already telling yourself, well, it's no wonder no one is recommending me for next level opportunities. Everything about me communicates that I'm really not interested in people. I don't like people. I don't want to serve people. I'd rather do things on my own. People are an inconvenience. So that's something you have to improve on, because if you're going to get anywhere, you would need people. Even now, we're talking about personal branding, and it's really about distinguishing yourself in the minds of people. So if you're already starting off, Modesta, tell you the truth, I really don't even like being around people. You're already setting yourself up for failure. So you're going to say, okay, I'm a 1 or I'm a 4 or I'm a 5. I definitely want to get this up to an 8 or a 9. What does it take? Because I do want them to consider me to be their go-to resource, their trusted solution provider. So these are really easy questions to check where you're at in terms of personal branding. If you want to get places and you understand that to get to my next level or get to my ultimate level, I would have to so distinguish myself that others actually believe and they see that I am the person they can trust to bring a solution, the solution that they need. But if I check on my credibility, I don't have the character or maybe the competence or both. When I check on my relatability, I don't have the connection. I don't have the human connections. I am just not a people person. Well, there's some work to be done. And that's where coaching comes in. Coaches like myself would work with you to help you then build up the competencies, the skills, the behaviors, the attitudes that you need for you to succeed in that very specific area that you want to grow in. Let's say then you say, actually, Modesta, I think I have everything it takes for me to succeed at the next level. And I just wonder why. I wonder why opportunities, pass me by. I think I have the character. I think I have the competence. I certainly have the connection. I am not sure why I am passed up for opportunities as the trusted solution provider, whether that is in your career, that's in leadership, or that's in business. I'm going to ask you some coaching questions as well. If you think I'm actually doing pretty well, I mean, I could do better, but I don't think my character or my competence, right, my credibility is a question that I am definitely one of the top three that you would consider. I don't think my relatability with other people is in question. I definitely am the type of person who seems relatable. Definitely am the type of person who seems personable, who seems authentic, who seems to care about other people and what they need. So I am not sure what the issue is. I'm going to ask you some questions as well. On a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to rate yourself in three areas. Number one, visibility. On a scale of 1 to 10, how visible are you to your ideal audience? How visible are you to your ideal customer? Do they know you exist? If you say, Modesta, actually, it's a one. Like the only person who knows I exist is my direct manager, whom I connect with on Zoom. Then that's not going to cut it. If you say, Modesta, my visibility is like a four, like they kind of sort of know that I'm there, or only when they have a challenge, do they come to me? That's another thing. Because out of sight, out of mind. Why do companies spend so much money on marketing? Even the market leaders continue to market. Why are they doing that? They're doing that because they want to continue this ongoing intentional process to build the image that if you are thirsty, get Coke. If you want a high-end phone that has all functionality that you can sync with your laptop and whatever, get Apple, right? So they continue to advertise, they continue to market, they continue to position because they want to be topmost in mind when an opportunity comes, when their ideal customer thinks, "Ooh, I have $1,000. I want to get a phone." Like Apple is a natural choice if you have $1,000, right? So maybe even though you feel, I check out Modesta on character, on competence, on connection. I don't understand why next level opportunities don't open for me. I don't understand why my network isn't broader. I don't understand why I'm not being proposed. I actually think I'm the hardest working person here. I don't get it. I don't get why these opportunities are not opening up to me. I want you to again check your visibility. Maybe you're just so hidden, people have no clue that you exist. Or maybe you show up perennially. Let me tell you, there is power in consistency. There is power in keep showing up in a way, and I'm going to get to the next one, that you add value, that you bring solutions. There is power in consistently showing up consistently. Let me say this. Who you are, how you show up, what you say, what you do, the results you bring, the value add you bring, that must be consistent. It cannot be today there's top performance, tomorrow it's mediocre. Today we see them for 6 months, we don't. A business that does that or an individual that does that is quickly forgotten, or even if they're remembered, what are people going to remember them for? They kind of don't seem to be committed. They don't seem to be consistent. They don't seem to be as invested in this thing as others may be. So maybe this isn't something they even want at all. Maybe we should consider someone else. So when you are consistent in what you're doing, first of all, that's a whole other Modesta Maker 360 Leadership Podcast episode. When you are consistent, that sends a message. This person is serious about who they are, where they're going, what they want. This is the type of person we want at these higher levels. This is the type of person you want to recommend. They will not put you to shame when you look them up. This is what we need. But also, when you are then visible and are consistently visible, that puts you top in mind. Top in mind. Each time I show up, Modesta is there. Modesta is on the Modesta Mega 360 Leadership Live on LinkedIn, which is today on YouTube. Modesta is got her book out. She is posting about something. We see a video. It seems as a leadership coach, as a management consultant, she's really invested in bringing results for her ideal clients because she's showing up daily. We see her daily. And then the second thing is value add. Not only is your visibility high, but the value add each time you show up. If each time I showed up, one day I'm talking about a hair product, the next day maybe I'm selling kids shoes, the day after that, I don't know, maybe I've started talking about vacations, you're not going to be able to make the synapses in your brain connect what value add I bring to you. So it is easy because I don't seem to have a specific thing that I am an expert in or that I am bringing insights to you for. You can't quite catch me into anything specifically. And so personal branding comes in where you say, this is what I stand for. This is whom I am serving. This is a problem that they have that I'm solving. And each time I show up, I add value to different aspects of that challenge. So if I say that I am equipping global leaders and businesses, then you should expect that each time I show up, and that I show up consistently, right? So I am visible, but every time I am visible, I add value. I add value to the leaders that want to position globally. I add values to the businesses that want to position globally. Such that whatever challenge that comes up, you're going to say, wait, there is this leadership coach, there is this executive coach, there is this management consultant. She adds values on how to lead our businesses. She adds value on how to lead our teams. She adds value on how to think about strategically positioning in the global market. She adds value on how I can improve my leadership effectiveness. This is going to be the executive coach I'm going to speak to. This is going to be the management consultant that we will engage. So I'm going to ask you again. I know I'm doing a lot of coaching today, but this is going to help you if you take it seriously. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least, and 10 is every time I show up, I add so much value. People are wondering if this is free, what would it look like if I get on the paid program? How do you rate yourself on the value add you bring to your specific audience? Would you say, actually, I am visible, but each time I show up, there is no clarity as to what I stand for. And I'm not really making an effort to share insights, solutions, maybe resources, or even just sometimes just be funny about the specific area in which I am addressing. So, okay, I know I can be trustworthy, right? I have the character, I have the competence, I have the connection with people. It's how I am profiling and positioning myself. I may be visible for those who feel like, yeah, I am visible, but I'm not adding value. I am not implanting in people's minds that I have the solution to that problem that you face. So of course they won't think of me. Yes, when I go into staff meetings, they see me there, but I barely speak, or I just answer short answers to what I'm being asked. So I'm not surprised that people don't even know that I'm actually an expert in this area. I am not surprised people don't know I'm experienced. I'm not surprised people don't know I am licensed and certified to operate in this area. I am not surprised people don't know I've won awards in this area. When I show up to my ideal customer, I do not add value as regards to the thing that I want them to trust me with. So even though I seem to have the character and the competence, and I have good relations, good connection with my target audience, with my very specific niche, and like I said, that could be the C-suite, that could be the board, that could be a literal market segment that you want to serve with your business, your product and services. But because you don't add value, they don't consider you to be valuable. I know this can sound a little, oh, Modesta, come on, that's a no brainer. And there's actually a newsletter that I'm going to post on LinkedIn today that will show you it's not a no brainer. Do not assume because you're in that position in maybe business development department and you are a manager in a certain area, do not assume people are going to think that you're an expert. Do not assume that people will propose you for promotion simply because you're in that position. Do not assume because you do a certain business. I literally tell people I'm an executive coach, Modesta. I literally tell people that I'm selling clothes, Modesta. Just because you are does not mean that your ideal client is going to think that you add value. You're going to have to tell them you add value. Not by saying I add value, but by adding value, by saying the things that add value, by showcasing the products and services in such a way, not just their features, but their benefits to your ideal customer, such a way that they say, you're who we've been looking for. I'm not just looking for kids' clothes. I'm looking for kids' clothes that won't fade even after 10 washes. You found a way of distinguishing what you do. And I am looking for kids' clothes that won't fade after 10 washes. And I love it that you are a mother that whose kids actually wears this clothes, and you're showing us, and we've seen it over and over and over, that these clothes are still good on your kids, right? So you can so distinguish yourself that you add value. And sometimes we forget to do that. We think it's a no-brainer. I'm in this area. They know I exist. They know I am here. If you do not profile and position yourself, they may know you exist, they may know you're there, but you're not going to come topmost in mind. They may not even think you're interested in a promotion. They may not even think you're interested in growing your business. They may think that you're satisfied. Who would ever think I'm satisfied? I'm in business. You'd be surprised. If you don't seem to be intentional about adding value and showing that you add value, people will assume that you don't, and they will just pass you by. And you're thinking, I am the most qualified in this space. I have the greatest experience in this space. I am the highest ranked person in this space. How on earth do they pass me by? Personal branding. You are not intentionally ongoing, creating this image of yourself as a trusted solution provider to your specific audience, to your ideal customer, to your ideal audience, and therefore they think of other people. They may even struggle and start asking people, do you know anyone who does this thing? Do you know? And people thinking, oh, so and so does. They do? You would be surprised how many people who you would like to engage with in your business or you would like to engage with in your career that you know and that know you will sometimes be struggling to look for solutions, asking around, and then somebody mentions your name and they're like, really? She does that? He sells that? Or by being mentioned, they'll be like, oh yeah. I wonder if they're any good though, because I didn't get the impression that they're really interested in that, or I didn't really get the impression that they're really selling that really hard, or they're really into that. So it's up to you to create that image of yourself as a trusted solution provider. It's up to you to send the message that I add great value, and to actually do it consistently so that you can match visibility and value add. And the last one then is solutions. Now, get this, there is a difference between value add and solution. I can daily bring you insights on leadership. I can daily bring you insights on what it is that you can do to grow in your leadership influence, to grow in your leadership effectiveness, to resolve challenges. I can daily do that, and you find it valuable. You probably will show up, across my platforms and say, this is one person I follow, they're really valuable. But it's another thing to actually provide solutions. How would people know that I provide solutions? If I can actually go through, now this would be my case, I'm giving you guys free coaching. If I can go through, even if it's hypothetically, and I'm talking here, for instance, on social media, or if I'm invited to speak on a panel, if I can address a common problem my ideal customer has, and I address it from the great challenge they're facing, and they're thinking, she's talking to me. She knows my life. To what the impact, the negative impact of that challenge. Oh my goodness, how did she know? Yes, I have lost money over that. Yes, I was demoted because of that. How on earth did she know? And then I go through my solution, offering what I would recommend to you to do to get that solution. Or even better, I share testimonials of other people that I have supported, other businesses that I have brought solutions to, that were able to go from A to Z. Maybe they started off in a place that wasn't favorable to them and they ended up going to another place. They're going to say, oh my goodness, you are the person we need. So look at those subtleties. One is, are you visible then? If you think that you've got the right personal brand, but you're not seeing traction, you're not seeing people really calling on you, turning to you as much as you would like, do you have the visibility? If you think, yes, I consistently do what I do, and I am consistently present, and I consistently connect, speak about, and also position what I am doing. Okay, then do you add value? Each time you show up to your ideal customer, do they walk away thinking, oh my goodness, every time I come to you, I learn something new. Every time I come to you, I get another nugget, another piece of insight that I can apply in my business to move forward. I love being in your presence. I will pay to show up and hear you speak. I will pay to be coached by you. I will pay to buy your products. And I know your products are more expensive, but they're worth it because I can see the difference they make. That is the value add each time you show up. And in the newsletter that I'm going to post today on the emerging market leadership newsletter is where people would say, well, I don't want to talk about my business so much. Maybe people will get overwhelmed, or maybe people think I'm too salesy, maybe too pushy, or I already went to them with a proposal, so I guess I should just give them time to think it through. Or I don't I don't want to be in people's faces all the time. I mean, every time they open their Instagram, every time they read a newspaper, there I am with my ad. Okay, so why is Coke still advertising? Why is Apple and Google still advertising? They're the top of the top. Why are they in our faces all the time? I'm literally using a Google platform right now. Why? Because that is the only way. Do you know sometimes by simply being visible, and consistently so, people will attribute a higher level of competence than you may even have? Just being visible and being consistent, people would attribute a higher level of competence than you may even have. There are people with lesser skills, lesser competencies. There are organizations with lesser products that provide lesser solutions that are getting so much business they don't know what to do with because of the way that they position. They add value and they bring solutions. So if you think, okay, my character, my competence, my connection, I'm good, I would say I am a trustworthy person to my ideal customer, to my ideal audience. So I don't understand why I'm not getting the opportunities. You're going to check on your visibility. You're going to check on value add each time you show up. Each time you show up, people get tons of value. They're thinking, I don't believe this is a freebie. I don't believe this is just a conversation. I don't believe this is just samples. These are samples? I cannot wait to get the real thing. This is just samples. What value from the samples? And then you bring a solution. You actually show the before and after. You show that if it's remote, in bringing up either a real or a hypothetical issue which they can relate to, and you go through what problem that's causing them and what your solution is and the difference it'll make. And even better, getting testimonials of those you've already done it for. So that is how then, by consistently doing that, but that's how long do I do it for? You keep doing it. Again, I said your personal brand is a vehicle to achieving your goals and your vision. So whatever your goals are, whatever your vision is, you're going to so profile and position yourself that people will then associate you with that area. So, for as long as you want to achieve that which you want to achieve, continue to build that image, create that impression of yourself in the minds of your ideal customer that this is my trusted solution provider. I will have loyalty. Matter of fact, I will be an ambassador for what they do. This is the person. In your career, you will have people pounding tables on your behalf because you have so distinguished your personal brand. Like I said, personal branding isn't just about faking it. It isn't just creating a persona. You're not going to go get a publicist just to make you look good when you're not. No, it consists of actually being a person that is trustworthy, which means they have the credibility, the character, and the competence, and the relatability, the connection with others to be trusted, to be entrusted with other people's money, other people's attention, other people's platforms where they're going to put you in leadership. So, personal branding is really saying, I'm the real deal. This is why I'm the real deal. This is what I've done. This is for sure what I can do for you too. That is what personal branding is. And what I'm saying is, if you do not make sure that you are visible and people can see your work, and that you add value. Nobody's going to recommend a person that doesn't add value. Not just because that other person is not going to get value, but you're not going to seem to be a valuable person if you recommend a person who doesn't add value. So people only recommend people they actually know would add value. And then finally, solution. Yeah, it's nice that you're visible. It's nice that you add value and insights, but it's so much better if I'm going to trust you with my money that you can actually bring solutions. So if you're here thinking, ooh, modesta, modesta. So what does it look like? I get it now. I get what personal branding is, and I get ways in which we need to look out for it. I need to check how I rate on character, on competence, on connection. I need to check on how I rate on visibility. Maybe I am the person for this thing. I'm just not visible. People don't know I exist. Or maybe I am visible, but I don't seem to add value. Like whenever I show up, I'm cracking jokes. I'm talking about other things. I'm not talking about the things that are related to them to build, right? To build that image that, wait, this is the person. Or when I show up, I'm so scattered. There is no concrete message that I'm putting out of the solution I can bring. And so of course, people are not associating me with this. Maybe that looks like, okay, I need to stop just cracking jokes at work, because I definitely want to get that promotion. I need to show up in a way that tells them there is no doubt that he's ready for this promotion or that she's ready for this promotion. So what does that look like? That looks like thinking about what are the knowledge and skills, what are the experiences, what are the certifications they're looking for a person at that level. And then now, so profiling yourself, CV, bio, LinkedIn profile in your performance management, and what you're writing as your goals and the reviews, and in your reports, in your presentations. So position your solutions, yourself as a solution, your insights as a solution, your past performance and your track record as a solution, that it starts building in your ideal client. Maybe that is HR to you. Maybe that is the board. Maybe that's the C-suite. Maybe that's the directors. You start building the impression, this person is no joke. Like this is the person we've been waiting for. Also, positioning yourself. So it's one thing to profile yourself, right? Your CV, your bio, your LinkedIn profile says that you are the person. Your presentations when you show up. If it's in business, your company profile, maybe features and publications when you're interviewed or when you get to speak on panels or something that you write, it so profiles you as the trusted solution provider to that very specific, that very niche ideal customer. But you also then need to position. You need to, in person and online, start positioning as a trusted solution provider. What does that look like? That looks like when people are like, who take on this project? Like, I am not. You're going to be like, I'll take that on. I'll take that project. Of course, I always talk about work-life balance. And so you're going to make sure that you're not compromising your health or the most important relationships in your life for it. But it looks like stepping up. stepping up to take up that project, stepping up to do that presentation, stepping up to answer that difficult question that the CEO just asked your entire department, and people are looking at their phones and they're looking away, and you're saying, okay, so this is how it is. This is what's happened. This is how we approach it, and this is what we recommend moving forward. You're starting to position yourself as the ideal client. Some of us working remotely, we position online. So you will consistently see me on LinkedIn. You're here on my YouTube channel. I am giving the impression, I am building in the mind of my ideal customer, this is a person we need to go to. I am looking to grow my career. I want to be a globally competitive leader. I want to be a globally competitive candidate in my career. I want to run a globally competitive business. Even if I'm in my local market, I understand in this world right now, everything is globalized. I am competing with any other solution provider globally. So I want to position that way. Modesta is going to be the person that I come to. So it's important to profile. If I asked you right now, could you please send me a CV? I've got just the job for you. Is your CV ready to go out right now? Is your resume ready to go out? If I said right now, send it right now. I need to forward it to someone. Is it ready to go out right now? Is it positioned like a marketing document that will sell you to people who don't know you? If I say, okay, I'm going to look at your LinkedIn profile. Does your LinkedIn profile sell you? Does your LinkedIn profile leave no doubt in the minds of your ideal customer, which maybe could be the recruiters, or maybe it could be boards, or maybe it could be funders, maybe it could be investors? Does your profile, maybe it could be the government, leave no doubt that you are the person they're looking for? Or do they have to like really search your CV, really search your resume, your LinkedIn profile, your bio, to piece together who you are and what value you could bring to them? Because if they have to do extra work to try to convince themselves that you are the person they need, they're not going to go for you. They have to themselves look at what you bring and say, oh my goodness, wow, where people like this exist? Yes, definitely let's promote her. Let's second her to that office in Europe. Yes, let's definitely, whatever it is, fund their business. When you profile and position your personal brand well, people would err on the side of allowing areas in which you're not so strong at, saying that, you know what, we will train them. You know what, we will maybe put more safeguards, but we'll definitely lend them this money. They seem like they're going to be not only a trustworthy steward, but they're going to be a lucrative investment. We are definitely going to get our returns and then some if we invest in them. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm back to this question. How would you say your personal brand rates by your ideal customer, your ideal audience, on a scale of 1 to 10? Is it a 1? They're like, never. We would never consider her, never, never. That's not going to happen. Is it a 10? It's like, he is the one. Oh my goodness, I hope nobody else approaches him. This is a person. This is the business. Like, we have to partner with this business. This is a business, or this is a person. Or is it somewhere in between? And if it's in between, what can you do? What can you improve to make sure that there is no doubt that you are the undisputed go-to trusted solution provider for your ideal customer's problem? If you need help to build a powerful personal brand, the kind of personal brand that opens doors even when you're not there, the kind of personal brand, like Jeff Bezos says, that has people talking positively about you, that has other people pounding tables for you, that has people ready to invest in you, that has people change protocol just to get you in the door because they know the value add you would bring. They know the solutions that you would bring for them, just as you did elsewhere. I want to tell you that I have a phenomenal program. It's called Build a Powerful Personal Brand. It is an online course. It's self-paced. I launched it last year. This is what the program does. Number one, it helps you find out, because sometimes This issue of not being clear about what it is, what value you add. Maybe you're so multifaceted you don't even know how to position yourself. One of my clients last week in a coaching session just said, there's so much to me. If I were to do an elevator pitch, I would actually not know what to grasp and what not to, what to talk about and what not to. So the first step to this process of building a powerful personal brand is finding out what you're passionate about and proficient at solving and you want to be known for. And this is your expert edge. I want you to be very clear about what you are passionate about and proficient at solving, because it's not enough that you're passionate. If you're passionate, bless you, but we want to know, does your passion solve my problem? So that is building your personal edge. The second step is asking others what they think your personal brand is. This is your personal brand authority. What we must know as leaders and what we must know as people who want to position ourselves is that it is not me who says who I am. It is other people who say who I am. As a leader, I cannot call myself effective. It has got to be my team, and it's got to be other people that have been exposed to my leadership influence that would say I'm effective. It is not you to say I am great and mighty in this area. It is for others to so have the image and impression of yourself in their minds that they themselves say that about you. They themselves will tell other people about your business. They will be loyal ambassadors to your brand. So the second step is almost validating that those things that you say that you are passionate about and proficient at solving, other people will tell you the same. Other people will say, yes, that is the image that I have of them. That is the impression that I have. Yes, I would choose them to be my trusted solution provider. Then number 3, consider who suffers most from the problem you want to solve and would benefit most from its solution. So the third step is going to be solving your ideal client's pain. When you are profiling and positioning your powerful personal brand, you have to consider that just because I am targeting this demographic or this customer profile does not mean I am targeting every single problem that they have. You do not hear me talking about that I'm selling leadership assessments. I do have leadership assessments. They are part of my coaching and consulting process, but I am not positioning as a person who's selling leadership assessments. So you have to be very specific. So what problem of theirs am I solving? And sometimes that gets lost for people. And that is why people pass you up for opportunities. They don't get the impression that you solve that specific problem that they have. And so it is for you to tell them, you have this problem. I know you do. And I solve specifically that problem this way. This is my method, and this is the outcome. Then step number 5 then is to profile and position your powerful personal brand as a trusted solution provider. That is step number 5 of the Build a Powerful Personal Brand course. Is then after you have clarity on what you're passionate and proficient at, after you have clarity on what others think your personal brand authority of you, after you have clarity on who suffers from the thing that you want to help with and is in a position to actually engage you to bring that solution. That's a whole other area. Not everyone who may seem to suffer from an issue is ready to do something about that issue. So when you're defining your ideal customer, they're actually at a place where they are so agitated by their challenge and they're so able to make a decision that they are ready today, if you propose a solution, to take it up. So I'm going to help you on that course to actually define the problem and the ideal customer who not only has that problem most, but is most interested and ready and can invest in getting a solution. Why go through all of this? Because personal branding is an effort, an ongoing effort, an intentional, ongoing effort of creating the image of yourself as a trusted solution provider to your ideal customer. They must themselves think that you are the go-to person. How do you do that? It's by showing up, showing that you are a person that has credibility and that has relatability, a person of character, a person of competence, and a person of connection. And you don't just do that once. You don't just create something and then shelve it. You're going to consistently be visible, adding value, and providing solutions, such that when somebody is looking for a solution, when somebody is facing a problem that is related to that very specific area in which you have centered yourself, it is guaranteed your name is going to show up top three. All right, I hope you had a wonderful time, and I will see you on the next Modesta Maiga 360 Leadership Podcast episode. And thank you in advance for your subscribing to the podcast and for rating and for your reviews as well. Have a great one. Bye.